On this episode of Just Informed Talk, the latest new Q posts give us mysterious pictures and coded messages. Plus, we have a special message for all the Anons out there. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. I always want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you guys haven't done it, please come here on the landing page, click the big red subscribe button. We can get to 150,000. That's incredible. You guys are doing great work. We'll be there soon enough. But if you want to support the channel, it's a great way to do it. Come here, click the big red subscribe button. So this is where we left off, guys. And yes, we do have two new Q posts to go through. And we're going to do another reaction to Donald Trump's Twitter feed at the end, which is going to be incredible. There's more tweets and there's more to talk about with the message from Q today about President Trump's Twitter and some coded messaging in that. Now, first of all, if you guys want to get caught up on these latest Q posts, I encourage you to come back here to the landing page, watch these last few videos. This would be the one that would get you caught up to where we're at basically. And then basically all the other ones have a supplemental information that's really important. This one is President Trump giving a press conference. You have Dan Bongino laying out everything that you need to know. If you guys haven't seen this Dan Bongino video, watch the Dan Bongino video. It explains everything in detail about who the players are, how it was done, and this is all talking about FISAgate. This is talking about the way this hoax was set up against the president. You have to watch Dan Bongino. I can only say he's really spot on with that. Now, and if you're scratching your head, go, what's this guy rambling about and what is QAnon? Watch this video right here. What is QAnon and the Great Awakening? When you do that, basically all you have to do is it'll give you all the information that you need as far as, where to find the information, how to do the research, what is QAnon, where to come from, kind of, and that'll definitely clear up some stuff for you. So other than that, we can go ahead and jump right in. So this is where I want to point to the post right here. This is post 2503, the latest new Q post, and it came last night. Now, so much to go over here, guys. There has been an incredible set of claims being made online on all the boards, the Anon boards, the vote boards, everywhere you go. Everybody's got these theories about what's going on, and let's just start by looking at the post, okay? This post is right here. The picture is this. Nobody knew what it was at first, really. Turns out it would appear to be a Chinese hotel. Specifically, it would be the Hyatt Regency in Chongqing. Now, this is a picture of the lobby. If you go to Google, the reason that everybody says this is because if you go over here to Google and you put in the Hyatt Regency in Chongqing, which is in China, you get this actual photo, which seems to be the exact same photo or the exact same hallway. It's like an elevator hallway, but there's a lot of differences here, okay? So there is a Christmas tree in this picture, and as opposed to this one, obviously there isn't. Now, I'm not pointing that out as in like saying that they're not one and the same. I believe that this is the Hyatt Regency in Chongqing, which is interesting. But the theories that have been produced out of this and what happened last night at the tree lighting event for the President of the United States and some rumors online that have been going around about a possible attempt to harm the president last night, this is really concerning, but we're going to look at this really quickly, okay? So let's go back here. The next thing we get is this stringer, 6X-382 NTP0038-3U2 we know Q. I honestly, I have not been able to decipher this one yet. I'm waiting for somebody like Serial Brain or somebody to get on that one because it really is hard to tell without any context to know what that's referring to, other than, and also, you can see the file name, the PNG name for this picture is another one that could have some sort of meanings that are put in there. I haven't been able to extract any. If you have any theories, please leave them down in the comments. I'd love to hear it because it's always interesting to see what kind of other messages are being sent here. But when you see something like this, to me, it's a message being sent to people who would know what that meant. And when I say that, I don't mean that like, I don't think everybody's supposed to know what it means. These messages are being sent to the world. Like Q says, the world is watching. The world is watching. So that means that Q's told us the CIA is here. Q's told us all of the intelligence agencies from across the world are here. They're here watching this board because they know what this board is, right? It's not because they it's a LARP and they want to catch some guy sitting in his mom's basement putting out whatever these Q posts. It's because it's almost like a dark media channel. I don't know. It is what is going on. The information that we're being given, Q said some of it is disinformation, but at the same time, I would say the lion's share is obviously stuff that the mainstream media won't report on that keeps coming true time and time again. So anyway, let's just put this in on the back burner here because there's not much else to read in this besides the fact, like you can see here, a lot of people pointed to this little interesting tidbit. This hotel here, which is the Hyatt Regency in Chongqing, I mean, obviously look at the initials, HRC. Okay, is that a reference back to Hillary Clinton? It's so hard to tell. And the Christmas tree, could that be referencing? I heard an anon have a theory that the Christmas tree with the HRC, Hyatt Regency Chongqing, and if I'm saying Chongqing wrong, I don't think I am, but if I am, sorry. Anyway, if that's a reference to something that we're going to be getting on Christmas, is that a possibility? I don't know. But I can tell you this, that that was one of the theories out there. Another theory out there was basically pretty simple and straightforward, that this has something to do with Dianne Feinstein, because we've heard about her in China. And, it's pretty hard to read too much into it. It's just a picture and it says, we know. Now, another thing that people wanted to talk about last night was this, the Christmas tree lighting ceremony. It was pretty crazy. A lot of the theories that have been bouncing around online this morning, reading them about what happened yesterday and last night, about how President Trump had to be, changed his plans, ditched the media. There were different reports from different sources. I didn't go out and verify any of them because the story there wasn't much there. It's that paradox. The paradox, and I'm going to talk about this really quick before we get into the next post. And the paradox is this: if something were to happen, if there was a plan that was put in action that was stopped, the paradox that President Trump and Q and all of them face is that by stopping it, then we can never know about it. But then it makes Q look fake because, or you know what I mean? Because you can't just come out and say, oh yeah, we stopped this last night. So I think that's the paradox of it all. If they stop it, then it never happens. Therefore, nobody will ever know about it. But that's fine with me. I don't want to know about it. If they stop it, that's good enough for me. That's more than enough for me. I don't need my ego is not big enough to where I need validation for people to tell me, that oh yeah, I knew the Secret Service was good. They stopped that. I knew it. No, I don't need that. I trust them. Okay, they have a job to do, and it's easier if we let them do it. Okay, so that's that's all I have for the Christmas thing. If I think of anything else as we go, I'll mention it, but that was pretty much the gist of what I got there. Now, the next one says, a picture is worth many sentences. Has POTUS ever made a statement that hasn't been proven to be correct? Future. Think timing. Think Senate lock. Think Supreme Court lock. Locked and who is loaded? Q. Well, obviously, guys, there's a lot you can read out of this. The first thing that I think we should read out of this is this. A picture is worth many sentences. Now, what picture? I think it's this picture, guys. I think it's referring to the picture that President Trump retweeted on his official presidential Twitter account. Now, this picture, as I noted, has Barack Obama, John Podesta, Bob Mueller, Rod Rosenstein, Hillary Clinton, Huma Abedin, Eric Holder, James Clapper, Bill Clinton, Loretta Lynch, and James Comey, all inside of a jail cell with the caption, now that Russia collusion is a proven lie, when do the trials for treason begin? A simple question. And I think it's a valid question. If it's proven that it was a lie, if it was proven that these officials in our government abused the FBI and the DOJ these NSA query bases these metadata bases that are supposed to only be used for foreign surveillance, if they abuse that to spy on the Trump campaign, and then they manufactured this. I mean, I'm talking in hypotheticals here because, there's a lot of proof that's mounting up, but we haven't seen any charges brought. We haven't seen much happen other than, just cases and investigations going on behind the scenes. So I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but I will say this. If this all proves to be true, right? There was these major abuses. It was ordered from the top down. There was, the former President Obama tried to avoid having that brought to him in his presidential daily briefings. Hillary Clinton, when she was at the State Department, used her position of influence to garner a huge monetary support cushion or whatever. She used it to funnel money to the Clinton Foundation in exchange for supporting their issues, right? So if all of this turns out to be true, and if Loretta Lynch did what she did on the tarmac with Bill Clinton, if James Comey is found to have basically, messed with the investigation in HRC's emails, if James Clapper, was involved with John Brennan and others, I mean, in what they did with the CIA behind the scenes, you guys, there's a lot to be investigated here, and we have what was written in the John Podesta emails. We have the connections between Robert Mueller and Rod Rosenstein, Eric Holder. Look, there is so much here, guys, and I'm just going to leave it at that to say that what do you get when you go to trial? You get a sentence if you are found guilty. You are sentenced. That sentence is, I think that's what that's referring to. Now, the next one says, has POTUS ever made a statement that hasn't been proven to be correct future? So what that basically is saying that, when President Trump calls these things out, he's always basically proven right. Like, for instance, do you guys remember when President Trump tweeted out that, they were tapping the wires at Trump Tower, right? And the media just went after him and said, you don't know what you're talking about. So he may have gotten, as Dan Bongino says in that video you watch, he may have gotten the wording wrong there, but the sentiment was 100% there. That's what Admiral Mike Rogers was going to tell President Trump when he went without the knowledge of the NSA or of the Obama administration, when the Obama administration was in that transition period when President Trump was in Trump Tower. And that's what Admiral Mike Rogers did. He went to Trump Tower to have a private meeting, unbeknownst to the Obama administration, to say, hey, look, these guys are, they're using this NSA query base to basically tap all your lines and they can get all your communications. And President Trump, that's why, and you got to watch this Bongino thing because he lays it out so perfectly, but that's why President Trump just gets up and goes to Bedminster and starts having all of his presidential meetings at his golf club up at Bedminster. Right? It's not a coincidence. And that's just one example of where President Trump basically says something that turns out to be true, right? And we have to keep following these things as they come out, but this is just another example. I mean, if President Trump says it's going to happen, then you know what? He's got 2 years because nothing's guaranteed in life. And if it is true, they're going to do everything in their power to try to take this 2020 election and win it. So to me, that means we just have to be on top of this all that much more. And there you go. But it says think timing and think Senate lock and think Supreme Court lock. Well, that's what you would need. You need the Senate and the Supreme Court so that if you do bring these charges, right, and there is these huge constitutional crises that happen because people are, making all types of accusations, you're going to need those majorities in order to ensure that you have a fair application of justice. That's all we want. See, we're not like the other side. We don't want special treatment. We don't want favors. We don't want anything other than equality of the law for all. That's it. It's simple, right? Just equality of the law for all. And then it says locked and who is loaded. Now, I think what that refers to, I've read a few different people's takes. I like Pragmatic's take on it. He says it's Whitaker. I think that's a very accurate way to put it. I mean, it's basically who else? It would be Whitaker. He's the guy who's sitting in control right now, the acting attorney general, the guy who is outranking Rosenstein now, and think about who does that take the handcuffs off of? directly. It takes the handcuffs off of Christopher Wray at the FBI. They can start doing even harder and further investigations. Now he's reporting to somebody who's not trying to set up roadblocks for him, right? And it makes a huge difference, guys. You just have to believe me on this, that is what's coming. And if you look, there's a few other posts that Q put up, where this is a President Trump tweet from 2017 where it's the one where he says locked and loaded, where he talks about military solutions are now fully in place, locked and loaded. Should North Korea act unwisely, hopefully Kim Jong-un will find another path. And this is right before, of course, we had this complete, denuclearization talks and capitulation by the North to basically fall in line to a degree. So that is incredible. Plus, we had these, locked and loaded posts with Rod Rosenstein. This one talks about what declassified would prove and why the Democrats wouldn't want it out there. So to me, it was about preventing embarrassment was part of the locked and loaded thing there. And then another one with the lock loaded. This is the same one that we just had. So I think you could probably take away that Q's basically just saying Whitaker's locked and loaded. The indictments are going to keep dropping. Just like look at today. This has less to do with Whitaker and more to do with Robert Mueller, but you saw what happened with Michael Cohen. He just pops up in court and, says, I lied and we were talking to Russians and we were going to build a Trump Tower. It's like, who cares, okay? If he's not talking, first of all, it's not illegal to do what Michael Cohen has been suggesting, that they had discussed as President Trump was running his business, a possibility of opening a Trump Tower in Moscow. That doesn't automatically make somebody a Russian agent. I'm sorry. You're going to have to give me a lot more than that. You can't just jump from A to Z and expect me to skip every letter in between and agree with you. I'm sorry. That's not how that works. So whatever's going on with him, like President Trump said, he gave a press conference to the reporters today where he goes, look, this guy, he's got a big prison sentence coming. He's doing everything he can to limit it because he's a weak guy. And that's what weak guys do. And it's the truth. Men of integrity don't crumble like that and lie and do anything they can to save their own tail. If you're a man of integrity and you're fighting a just cause and you're being attacked by somebody who's got an unjust cause, I'm the type of person that would be a man to stand up to that. But some people aren't, and that's fine. Different strokes for different folks. I'm not here to judge. I let God judge. Anyway, this is really where we're going to leave off. There's a few other things I want to do first. Obviously, I want to talk about Donald Trump's Twitter. Twitter reactions to me are the best because I just want to read them. Like I said, I wish President Trump would do Twitter all day, every day, but I know he's the busiest and most, man in the world running the country and the free world at large to a degree. So it says, so much, this is where we left off basically with President Trump's Twitter. So much happening with the now discredited witch hunt. This total hoax will be studied for years. I couldn't agree more, Mr. President. I could not agree more. Here you go. It says, did you ever see an investigation more in search of a crime? At the same time, Mueller and the angry Democrats aren't even looking at the atrocious and perhaps subversive crimes that were committed by crooked Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. A total disgrace. Look, okay, I'm going to try to be calm about this because it takes a lot for me to hold back everything. I want to just come out and, yeah, look. But look, President Trump is saying that there were crimes that were committed by crooked Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. I mean, that's directly out of there. He's the president of the United States. What more do people want? I don't know what they want. Do they want, a videotape or something? I'm just, at this point, I'm lost. Like, do they want like a smoking gun evidence to be handed to them? Because I think we've been getting it over the past 2 years. And now it's just becoming more obvious when you look at the sequence of events. Who is denying the fact that there were emails deleted? I don't hear any denials. I just hear, just nobody talks about it, it seems. They just pretend it never happened and hope it'll go away if they win another election. And it shouldn't, and I hope it never will. I hope that we're always going to be investigating people who think they can get away with crimes. To me, it's equality of the law. That's what it really comes down to. Now, this one is the one I wanted to share. It says, When will this illegal Joseph McCarthy-style witch hunt, one that has shattered so many innocent lives, ever end? Or will it just go on forever? After wasting more than $40 million, is that possible? It has proven only one thing. There was no collusion with Russia. So ridiculous. And it's so true. I mean, I think he's speaking out for millions of people across this country who feel that way. I know I do. I know that President Trump took the words right out of my mouth, and that's the truth. Look, this is getting out of hand to me, where you look at the media and you look at the way that Congress is going after the president, from the left, I should say. And to me, why can't we all get behind President Trump while he's the president? You can have your politics, in the run up to the next election. But you just spent 2 years trying to destroy a man who's done everything in his power to make this country great again. And now, for the next 2 years, you plan on doing the same thing, it seems. And to me, it's like, all right, well, why don't we try to stand behind him and try to make our country actually better, instead of, chasing this hoax, chasing this idea that's been manufactured by the intelligence communities with the deep state and the media to portray Donald Trump as something that he's not. The man is the president of the United States. He's done a great job. He's bringing our economy back. He's got unemployment down. He's got, the GDP up. What else do you want? He's protecting American lives on the border. I mean, look, if you think that we're in we're doing so horribly, then try to help. Don't do. I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting into that. Was way too much of a rant. Oh well. Here's a great one too. Billions of dollars are pouring into the coffers of the USA because of the tariffs being charged to China, and there is a long way to go. If companies don't want to pay tariffs, build in the USA. Otherwise, let's just make our country richer than ever before. What's wrong with that? What is wrong with an America First policy? I mean, if the only people I think who would be disagreeing with this are people who aren't Americans, who shouldn't have a real say in our political process, right? As in, who is the president? And there's a lot of people inside of our country who probably disagree with this. But to me, this is a statement that exemplifies everything that we've been doing precisely, which is we're putting America first. We're trying to entice business in our country. We're trying to rebuild a manufacturing base. We're trying to bring jobs back into broken communities. We're trying to revive small towns. We're trying to make this country better. We're trying to make America great again, really. We're 2 years into it. We got 2 years to go. And then we'll be keeping America great when we re-elect President Trump, which I pray we will. So, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. That is that. And then this was the final thing. This was actually one of the other main things I wanted to talk about. This is based on the fact that the ships and sailors have not been returned to Ukraine from Russia. I have decided it would be best for all parties concerned to cancel my previously scheduled meeting in Argentina with President Vladimir Putin. I look forward to a meaningful summit again as soon as this situation is resolved. So what President Trump's talking about here is he had a meeting scheduled with Vladimir Putin in Argentina for the G20 summit, which is coming up, and he's decided to cancel that. Now, why is he canceling it? It's because there was a little bit of a skirmish here in the in Ukraine or contested waters up there between Ukraine and Russia. Now, we all know about the how Crimea was basically annexed by Russia and taken. We all know that story. But Petro Poroshenko, who is the president of Ukraine, basically just got punked by Putin. Now, what does that mean? What happened was the Ukrainian government had sent 3 ships into disputed waters. Now, these were Ukrainian Navy vessels, 2 artillery ships, and a tugboat, and they had 23 crew members aboard. Now, what happened was they must have wandered off into disputed areas of the water. Both countries say they were in their own territorial waters, but Russia was not having it. Russia basically picked up these boats, took them. They took the sailors. They haven't returned the boats. They haven't returned the sailors. So it looks like that's a pretty big move by the Russians to basically take two ships and a tugboat, two military ships and a tugboat. So this is why President Trump's backing out. To me, obviously there is a lot of nuance to what's going on with the annexation process that happened there with Crimea, and how it's very much disputed to this day by the Ukrainians and the Russians alike. So that's a delicate situation that we're seeing unfold, and you have to understand that the reason it's so important is because Ukraine is obviously a member who can reach out to NATO and ask for help and assistance, and this is something where we as America are inside of a treaty that dictates that we help members who are, basically territorially violated by other actors, outside actors. And in this case, President Trump is basically taking the first step in, I don't know, I mean, diplomacy. It's he's canceling the meeting. So basically that sends a direct message to Moscow that, we're not going to ease up. We're not going to back up. I think all the tariffs all the stuff that we laid on Russia is still there. And President Trump's been very tough on Russia. So there's no reason for me to think that canceling a meeting is necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I think it's going to send them a message that we mean business, and if we have to, we'll protect our territorial interests. But that's something that I'll leave for a debate in the comments, because I'm sure you guys will have your own take on that. Now, before we go, stick around for 1 minute. If you guys want to help out the channel, like I said, subscribing is the best way. Come here, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications, watch these videos, share them on your social media. Like I said, this Dan Bongino video, man, I wish I could share it even more. I wish I could go put it on the screen at Times Square and play it on a loop, because it's just so insightful. I really want you all to watch that. But other than that, a couple of other things before we go. If you guys want to help out the channel, you can come find me over here on Twitter at Justin_formed, of course. And that's a cool way. You can come follow me over here, and I love when you guys support on the Twitter account. Also, if you guys want to help out, you can come find me over here on justinformednews.com, the official website for Just Informed Talk. When you come here, my favorite part, you got your live, your RSS feeds for news and all that stuff, and you get what I put up. But the best part about this site, and the reason I put it up there, and it's for you guys, it's just a tool for you guys, is it has all the links. So if you guys want to come to the channel, this goes back to the YouTube channel, Just Informed Talk. You want to get all the posts, you can go here to QMap. It's a great website with all different types of information about the players and all types of cool information. It's a great website, and that'll give you the post live as they are posted. So as soon as a Q post comes, it goes and is posted there. The Q Research Board, this is the 8chan. This is where it all happens. If you guys want, that's another thing. And then also Real News. These are not, I'm not saying these news sites are perfect, but I'm saying that these news sites are a great starting point. So I put them up here because a lot of people ask, where do I go if I'm not going to go to the mainstream media? Because it's hard to find these independent or slightly more independent news outlets. So there's a good starting point for you. Now, another couple ways you can help out, because obviously, guys, demonetization is real, and I appreciate your help. You guys fund this channel. You can come over here to Patreon, patreon.com. And when you do that, you can come here, click this Become a Patron button. Once you do that, all you have to do is give a monthly donation. You give as little as $1 or as much as you like, and it makes a world of difference, your generosity. And you guys are what keep this channel going. You guys are what keep me making content 24/7, 365. If I had to depend on YouTube, it'd be scary. And you guys are like giving me an opportunity to go to like Washington, D.C., like I'm going to be next week for the American Priority Conference, which, by the way, if you guys are going to be in D.C. December 6th through 8th, you should check out the Priority Conference. We got some incredible speakers coming and some surprises. So check this out at AmericanPriority.com. So, and if you guys aren't interested in the monthly donation over at Patreon, I'm sorry I got off that, but just come over here to GoFundMe. I made a GoFundMe page, and I'll leave a link in the description, and you click the Donate Now button. You can make a one-time donation, and you can make it anonymously if you so choose. So, with that being said, before we go, I want to take a second and talk about God's grace and how it is truly greater. And for this, I want to talk about someone very dear to me. I found out today that a woman I knew very well and who I loved very much passed away, and I was shocked, and it happened a week ago. And long story short, she was just a really good friend, and I was actually meaning to go up and visit her, and I talked to her like right before she passed, and I was just about to go visit her with my family for Christmas, and she was a very important woman who had a very tough life, and but she is in a better place now, and it was a little shocking. I've been a little out of it. I'm sorry if it comes off in this video at all, but I just want to take a minute and remember her incredible life, and she was a wonderful woman, and I pray for her family, and I've prayed for her, and I want you guys to think about this, that if you have somebody close, don't ever take them for granted. Don't ever, sorry, don't ever take them for granted, because life is too short, and you could just wake up one day and something that you took for granted, someone that you took for granted who you thought would be there, is not. And then you have to move forward, and you have to be strong, and but you have to be strong so you can remember them the way that they deserve to be remembered. And I just want to share this piece of scripture that talks about what happens when people leave us, and what the difference is. But today it's out of 1 Thessalonians, and we're going to read chapter 4, verses 13 through 18. And it says, "We do not want you to be uninformed, brothers, concerning those who are asleep, so that you will not grieve like the rest who have no hope. Since we believe that Jesus died and rose again, in the same way God will bring with him those who have fallen asleep through Jesus. For we say this to you by a revelation from the Lord. We who are still alive at the Lord's coming will certainly have no advantage over those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the archangel's with the archangel's voice, and with the trumpet of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are still alive will be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so we will always be with the Lord. Therefore, encourage one another with these words." And I hope that those words bring you encouragement. I hope that you know that even those who are asleep now, we'll have no advantage over them when the day comes to be with our Creator, and on that glorious day we will be back together again. And that's where I'm going to leave it. So I thank you all for watching. Like I said, don't take anyone for granted ever. Every day is a blessing, and live it that way. Live it by God, through God, and for God. So thank you for watching. If you guys haven't hit that subscribe button, now's a great time to do it. But thanks for watching Just Informed Talk. My name is Craig. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.